Paintball nerd.
All right, today on Paintball Nerds Fun 5, we have the Legends legend. He played on Avalanche. He played on Miami Effect. He played on Infamous. He is Paintball's rockstar. He does sales and promotions for Push Paintball. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Glory Boy, Chris Lasoya.
What's up? What's up?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, sir. How are you, man?
Dude, great. I'm happy. I'm happy that you're on.
Yeah, how's Tennessee Midwest treating you?
It's good. You know, there's seasons, which is exciting.
We don't get those here.
You know, you don't get those. You get 75 degrees.
It did rain this morning. It did rain. It sprinkled. Took me an hour to get 15 minutes away from somewhere.
I miss San Diego. I miss hanging out at the warehouse and doing push stuff with you.
Copy that. Well, I miss you too, brother, for sure.
So man, Chris Lasoya, you know, that's a name you say in paintball and everyone knows. Everyone's got a story about Chris Lasoya. And you know, sometimes they're off the field.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stories out there. I mean, good, bad, ugly, fun, but they're always a positive ending to every story. So
yeah, man, you've probably got more stories than any of us.
Man, you know what? My wife was telling me the other day, I should write a book. I think I've forgotten more things than I think I remember these days.
Well, you know, before I met you, before I knew you, I knew who you were from Push. And the story that I think about is he stuck a stick in his leg.
Will. That's a great
Will
story.
saying he stuck a stick in his leg.
So I can sum it up. I'm not sure if you know the whole story.
No.
I'll do cliff notes. It's a good story. It's a good story. So we're at Sun on the Beach, which is an old town, which is like our old hangout back in the day. You know, and the main tournament fields were at the end of Old Town on the other side of the roller coaster, I guess you can call it, for 12-year-olds, which I think you probably rode back then. No offense. But the fields used to be behind that. And we used to stay at the hotel right next to it. So that was our spot. So we're at Sun on the Beach. Nicky Cuba, he was a child back then. You know, when all of us paintball players get together in one spot, we might hate each other somewhere else. But when we're all together as a group, it's a really, really bad idea to really get involved in any controversy or problems with us if you're not in the group. And that's exactly what happened. We had Ronnie Simpkins there, just a total psycho, Bruno, Dino. I mean, there was multiple teams there, multiple people. So Nicky Cuba starts dancing with this young lady, and her boyfriend didn't like it. So he went up to Nicky Cuba and started trying to bully him. And I walked over and I wasn't having it. So I think I lightly touched the guy in the face. And everything started erupting, and my ankle popped out of I don't know. I'm not sure still to this day what happened, but my ankle popped, and Will Arario is right there, and he's like, they stuck his dick in his leg. This guy runs outside, and we cornered him like against the building, and this guy was ninja status. He grabbed his pipe. He was all like Fu Manchuing and all sorts of stuff. Like jumps off the wall like parkour before parkour was cool, and like swings this thing at everybody. So we kind of like, whoa, what's going on? This ninja like Jackie Channing us, runs, takes off, and we're all fat and slow and drunk at this point. So we chase this guy down, and we're looking for him. And Ronnie Simpkins is in front of me as I'm getting carried by Will and Chris Cole because I couldn't walk. And all of a sudden, this ninja jumps out of a tree behind Ronnie Simpkins, and we think hits him in the head with a bottle. And Ronnie Simpkins is like, no, you did not. And then everybody just runs up. They catch the guy eventually. And I'm not sure exactly what happened after that, but I'm sure it didn't go well for the gentleman.
Man.
But yeah, no. So I set up the first day of the World Cup, which is fine with me. I mean, I needed the break anyway. But that's a really good story, actually. So Nicky Cuba still loves me to this day for that.
I always wondered what happened
Yeah,
if you actually
yeah.
got a
Well, I
stick
mean,
stuck in your leg, but you
yeah.
didn't.
I mean, well, Will, he's one of the most funny people I think I've ever met in my life. Yo, they stuck a stick in his leg. Yeah, I was like, but they didn't. It just my thing just popped, and I had to sit out the first day. It was just a little sprain, but like I think I hit the guy so hard, his low self esteem hit my leg as I punched him, and it popped it out of place. But it is what it is. Listen, man, I think we've been in fights as a group in every single country that I could possibly think of. And those old school people know the deal. It doesn't quite happen that much anymore because I think
Right.
people are a little more well behaved.
Yeah.
Um, we
Calm
we
down
were
a little bit.
we were enemies back then. We didn't care. I mean, it was a lot of fun, and the brotherhood came out because you would hate that person on the field. You'd hate him with all your passion and argue and yell and want to beat them up, but you get us in our environment together and just kind of being ourselves and hanging out and being friends. It's a terrible idea to get involved in a situation with people that are in our area of expertise
Yeah.
when you're not involved in that group. So it is what it is.
So what about on the field, Chris? Because you've got so many victories that you can't count. Like
Man,
give us a memory on the field that really sticks out for you.
man, I've been doing this a long time, and it man, and I forgot a lot of stuff I've won. I remember the losses more than anything, and I think that's what sets certain people apart from others. Um, yeah, you can win all you want. Great, cool, great, you won. That's amazing. You're supposed to because that's what you're out there for. You're not out there to lose. So when you win, it's like, okay, cool, that was fun. But when you lose, it seems to stick more with you and on your losses and what could you do better and how could you do it better. And I think that's why um, the teams I've played with and members I play with have succeeded because we focus on the things that we did wrong, not so much we did right,
Mm,
as we're all professionals in this industry and we're supposed to do right. And that's what you're supposed to do. Just
yeah.
like you see these guys in baseball or football, they drop a catch that hits their hands or they drop a baseball that hits their glove. You have one job. My job is to go out there and hurt people and shoot people. That's what I'm supposed to do. And it's expected. And when you don't do that and you lose, those memories stick a little more in your mind. It's the people that are winners from the people that are mediocre.
Yeah.
With that said, I think everybody's out there to win, but I think people can accept loss a little better than I did. I mean, between Eclipse, Angel, Halo, all my sponsors, if I could name every gun I've smashed in half, loaders I've split in three pieces by smashing with my tank, threw my gun across the universe, broke my barrel in half. I mean, I was R&D to the extent. I mean, if it can be broken, I could break it. I can't fix it, but it can be broken. I will definitely do that. But it's more of a passion kind of thing. So when you say winning,
Yeah.
I remember some wins. Notably, we had the NXL thing going on with Miami Effect. We were shooting 9 million balls a second. It was a
Hmm.
blast. They tried to put our thumb on us and say, look, you can't do this, you can't do that. I'm like, well, you're not paying us, so we can do whatever the heck we want. So that's when we split across and, we created the team Infamous. And then Infamous went over because Dynasty was devastating, just dominating everybody on that NPPL circuit at the time, 7-man. And, they won 20 tournaments in a row or whatever. I'm not taking anything away from them guys. They were great. They played amazing. Yes, they won that many tournaments, but they really didn't have that much competition because Aftershock, the Bob Longs, ourselves, we were all playing NXL and we were kind of stuck in that niche.
Yeah.
Um, you know, and we came out of that niche and we played them in Tampa and we just murdered everybody as Infamous. So that win against Dynasty was great. Then the next tournament we went out in Denver and we beat up on Excessive. We won that tournament as well. And that was my hometown at that point. So that was a good winning point for me.
Yeah.
And I'm not taking anything away from the split series or whatever it might be. I just think that we played a lot more points against a lot more credible teams. Now, Dynasty was still kicking everybody's butt for sure, and they played really well. And I'm not saying that lasted long. We did win those two. tournaments, which is cool. I just think we had advantage because, ultimately playing two 25-minute halves in X ball, you're playing a lot of points, and you're going to get better. Muscle memory, this, that. We're shooting 9 million balls a second. My Intimidator just came out. I think it was a chainsaw.
Yeah.
So transitioning up, I started playing. I started phasing out after I left Infamous. Worked at Pro Caps, and I started playing with Trauma. We did for the 7-man. We had a lot of fun with that. One of my very notable wins, and I think Randy Stanzat brought this up the other day, is when we played in Jacksonville. I played with Aftermath with Mike Hinman and those guys. Mike's close friend of mine, and it was like Pitts and Bobby Avilas, God rest his soul. Mike was coaching us, who's scary as hell. You don't want to lose. Randy, Mouse was playing with us. Marcel,
Oh, wow.
I think Marcel. I can't remember the whole team, to be honest with you. But Pitts was there, Randy. But so we in order to win that tournament, we had to go one-on-ones against Hurricanes, and Bobby Avilas shot his guy. I played against Billy Bernaccia, and he shot me, unfortunately, and he never lets me live that down. And then the last point was somebody, I think it was Mouse or something, and then they won. So we went on to go to the finals. So it was close just to get to the finals, and then we won. I had a lot of fun. Rainey and I played really well together. But, we played the Ironman best 2 out of 3. And Rainey is the one that went up the middle and actually dominated everybody. I sat there and kind of looked cute for a minute, and that was a fun win, because people don't know that the night before the semis or whatever, there was a huge windstorm and rain and everything, and just blew the fields away. So the MPPO at the time had to rebuild everything the next day, and people don't understand the undertaking that they had to go through just to make the tournament continue and happen. It's the back stuff that people don't really realize. And coming from the event industry, I see the outside the box kind of stuff, and they did a really good job at making stuff happen. So but that was a fun win. France tournaments, 2000, 2001 with Avalanche. The winning streak we had. Those are the best times of our lives, to be honest with you.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. You've Chris, you've been the best player in every iteration that paintball has seen. You were the best guy in the woods. You were the best guy when 10 men came out of the woods. You were the best guy when X-Ball was around. You're the best guy in 10 men now. You are at the pinnacle of paintball and have been in every iteration of our sport. And while doing so, you've played with everyone, man. You've played with the top. Birds of a feather flock together, right? So I'm not gonna make you just pick one person, but who are your favorite players?
Me.
Good answer.
I'm just kidding. That's a joke. To be honest with you, and there is a plethora of people out there. I think that the inauguration of X-Ball, me, John Richardson, Oliver, Alex, Ron, Bob was there, Todd Adamson. I can't remember the whole team's everybody. Zach Long was there. That team was fun. Rich Telford. Oh man, if that team was against everybody this day, like in their prime, excuse me, it wouldn't even be it'd be a joke. Excuse me. I remember we were playing against Germany in that X-Ball team, and we got like a penalty. I know it's weird, and it was just John Richardson and myself. So it was 2-on-5. Him and I went out there the first game and just murdered these guys, like 5-on-2. And we're like, hey, let's go do that again. It's kind of fun. So it was so bad the first game. John runs to the corner. I get on my knees, and I knee walk to my bunker because I felt bad for the guys the first game. I was wanting to give them a chance. And we still smoked them 5-2. It was borderline embarrassing for them, but it was hilarious for us. But with that said, I'm going to name the 5 top people I love playing with. Todd Anderson, without question. He's a blast, dude. I mean, nobody shoots from the hip better than he does.
Yeah.
And he's a great guy, fun to play with, cool guy. I mean, I've known him since God, 87, 86. Back we were playing in Florida together. We didn't even know each other back then, and you know, we were kids, so we don't really remember that time. But you know, Brian Fowl, LB, man, that guy. He was like a joystick and just told me what to do, and it just made things happen. John Richardson, obviously, that's a no brainer. Him and I were like yin and yang. Travis Lemansky, man, the list is so long, it's really hard for me to say. I mean, I would play with Oliver and Alex all day. Those guys are a blast. Mouse, the kid's a beast. I mean, Justin Rabikoff, I mean, we taught that kid how to play. We're at practice one time, and he split his knee open on a stake. Kid couldn't have been more than 14 years old. We threw him in the back of our SUV. I get captain said, "Yes, you'll be fine." We get to the hospital, and the hospital's like, "Are you drunk?" He's like, "Yep." It was, oh man, it was not good. I mean, there's so many good players out there these days. You know, look at Rainey. It's really hard to tell, man. I just go by experience, and the kids these days have a lot of respect. One thing I got to say about like Alex, Ryan Greenspan, Yosh, all those kids, man, we used to beat the crap out of those kids. And then the tides turn, they start kicking our ass. But they've always had the most respect. Marcelo, all those guys. You can't. There's no way to deny that they changed the sport in a positive way. As far as relations and talking to people. I've always been very approachable off the field, even though people I'm a psycho. I'm a psycho, but off the field, I don't mind talking to moms and parents and stuff like that. It's becoming common now that you're a little more assertive and more approachable with these kids. With Oliver bringing his brand in and doing me due diligence and doing my spec. Just Ryan doing his thing. And I mean, there's, look at Lone Wolf Paintball. Those guys are taking stuff to the next level. There's just a lot of good companies out there, a lot of good people these days. So it's really hard to narrow everything down.
Yeah.
I mean, look at you. Look how much fun we've had. I mean, I don't think people know this about you, but you're the man of a million voices. And I try to do it when you're not here, but it's not the same effect. It's pretty funny because it's terrible. But
yeah, not many people know that. I only let my closest circle hear.
It's
hear
your
all
hidden
the
talent.
voices.
It's your hidden talent, man. These ladies be talking. Oh man, they don't know.
Well,
they just don't know.
Well, buddy, let's talk about paintball gear.
Okay.
Everyone's named that one thing that they have that's like their superstitious item or something that they can't step on the field without. What is it? I mean, I feel like I could give you a slingshot and a pair of sunglasses and 3 paintballs, and you'll go out there and play paintball. But like, do you have an item like that?
I've had my tender in a lot of different sponsors. I mean, obviously the Angel when it first came out. We're not going to bring out the chains and oiled down skin picture or anything. We got that. I was with Angel. The Intimidator came out. They did. Bobby did a great job with that gun. But hands down, I will not walk on the field with anything besides an Eclipse marker. There's no way. I mean, those guys are just way, 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 way above the game right now. A lot of people don't know. I was one of the first players to go overseas and play with a team. I played with Bonsai Bandits, which was Leads, Jack Wood, Jacko, and they were dominating over there back in the day when we was in Cockers. And I had the luxury of going there and playing with those guys a few times, and we won Homebush and other some wood ball. This is way, way back. God, I mean, it had to be 90 something. I can't remember. But they were way ahead of the game back then. And obviously I shoot an ETHA 3, right now for the mech tournaments. S3 just came out. I shot that. It's insane. They're just constantly evolving. All the stuff from Foundation that Travis does, the infamous paintball stuff. I use his, stuff exclusively. The pack is amazing. But when it comes to the one thing I can't walk in the field, I can walk in the field with anything else, but I've got to have an Eclipse gun. That's for sure. And push goggles. That's kind of a given.
Yeah.
I'd go out there naked for that matter, you know, at that point. But yeah, those are the two things I need the most. Eclipse, without question. The powerhouse reg with the infamous tank, and obviously, the push goggles. But that's pretty much the stuff I need the most.
Right on, dude. So Chris, for the thousands of people that want to make it to your level, I'm not even gonna say it's possible
Oh, it's
because
possible. 100% it's possible.
there's only one Chris Lasoya, man. There's only one Chris Lasoya. So what does it take though? What does it take to get to that level?
Well, first and foremost, I mean, and I stress this the most. People have to go to school. You got to go to college. You got to get a degree. You can't rely on paintball alone, because I've had a lot of people ask me, hey, they see what I'm doing, and yes, I made $1 million plus whatever the years that I played paintball, and that's great. But I also have other things to fall back on. I'm a, as you know, I'm a concert promoter. I do the booking agency thing with artists. I have a lot of stuff going on that I can fall back on, because paintball, you know, as you get older, it's not always going to be there, and the sponsorships wouldn't dwindle. Because I was, a highly sponsored player, and that was great, but it has a shelf life as well. So you got to make sure that you go into it knowing that you also have a shelf life, and there's not many people that have succeeded like myself or Oliver, Mouse, Ryan Greenspan. That list is very short of people that actually succeed making the amount of money that we have made over the years. And, God bless me that I've been, happy enough to accept what he's given me, because, the sponsor would treat me really well. But you got to put the time in. Time costs money. Paintballs cost money. If you want to succeed in this game, if you think you're a D2 or D3 player, D1, whatever it might be, don't go beat up on D5 players. Go out there and get your ass kicked. My dad told me when I was a kid, you've never been in a fight till you got your ass kicked. And I stand true by that. Now, when I was younger, like let's call it 16, 17, 18 years old, 19, 20, whatever it might be. Back then we could go out and ref these tournaments. So we'd play these tournaments. Aftershock would be out there, and like with Brian Benini, Dirk, Clayton Kyle, all the badasses, and so we'd get kicked out in the semis or whatever. I would actually go out in the field and I'd ref these guys. Now, refing is whatever, but I went out there for education. That was college courses for me. And I'd watch, I was like, oh, that's what he did? Okay, cool. I can do that. I can do it better, but I'll do it. And then eventually, don't, if you go to these tournaments and you get knocked out, don't put your tail between your legs and go back to the bar or go back to McDonald's or get your Happy Meal or however old you are. I don't care. Don't go to, down to, Disneyland or whatever. Sit your ass down and watch and educate yourself. Say, hey man, this is what I could do better. I see what he did, and you'll learn. Listen to Matty Marshall, myself, Rich Telford on the webcast. You'll see us calling plays before these guys even move. I'm like, watch, he's gonna go down the wire, or he's gonna do this. Rich will say, oh, he's gonna bump over there, or Matty will be like, oh, he's got to go up the center. We already know this because we're paintball educated. As are you. You've been around the block. You know what's up. But educate yourself. You can't rely on people not to educate you. Go out there. When I used to play and to get better, I used to do 5-on-1s. I did a 10-on-1 one time. They were terrible, and I won, but it's still 10 people. Go out there and test yourself. Go out. Do 2-on-1s. Learn your strengths and your weaknesses. If you learn your weaknesses, that'll make your strengths way better. So know what you're not good at and focus on what you're really good at. At the end of the day, I don't play basketball for a reason. You know why? Because I suck. So, real simple. Focus on what you're good at. Take the stuff you're not so good at. Put some efforts into it and just gradually get better. Don't speed it up. Speed comes with age. Speed comes with convincing. Don't force it. Take it slow. Speed will come with endurance and with education inside.
Yeah. So do the work, step outside your comfort zone on the things that you know that you suck at, and work on those things.
Yeah. Sack up. Without question. Everybody has it in them. The kids these days, and I use that word loosely because everybody is a kid to me these days. But they're in a lot better shape, like yourself. You're in great shape. A lot of these kids are in way better shape than I was. You know, back then we'd pound a 6-pack, go out and play. You know, and it was we were just much better than everybody else, so it didn't take much effort. We just went out and beat everybody's butt. Now these days, everybody is so good, anybody can beat you at any time. On this field for the World Cup with that wall in the middle, man, somebody gets up there, it's not that hard. Even I can get up there up the middle. And the pro game, because there's a lot of dips. You know, you go out to the tower, you cut inside, and if they don't see you up there, you can go to their tower and you can shoot 2 or 3 guys real quick, and the game's over. And anybody can do that. So, you know, educate yourself, know the field, know the codes, listen to your coach. Don't talk back. Don't think you know everything. Just focus on your job, period.
There it is. Awesome, Chris. Well, dude, over these past 75 years that you've been playing paintball, what are you most thankful for?
My friends. 100%. I mean, you know, we can go anywhere in the world, you know. So
yeah,
that's where it's at.
Awesome, dude. Well, Chris, thank you so much for your time here today, dude. It means a lot. Is there anything that you want to part with for the paintball community?
No, stay patient. Pay attention to Paintball Nerd, man. He's got things going on. He's very systematic, and he wouldn't leave me alone until I got on this. So I actually had to do it at some time.
Yeah,
so
I gotcha.
I'm like third fiddle, like to Rainey and those guys. But listen, you know, he has some good content. Keep an eye on my boy here, and I'm always available. If you have any questions, pass them on to Isaac, and you know, just stay tight, boys.